Video Part 6 Review by Graphs Trends. Reviewing the Trends window. Open the Trends window by clicking on Trends in the Review toolbar or by selecting Review, Trends in the primary Holter toolbar. General Trend, Enhanced Plus and Pro levels. The General Trend screen presents data in 1-minute increments throughout the Holter period, including the RR trend showing the range of RR interval measurements, the heart rate trend showing the average heart rate, total VPB and VTAC trends, and total SVPB and SVT trends. On all of the trends, time of day appears on the horizontal axes. RR intervals are plotted so that the range within each minute appears as a vertical line. The top end of the line indicates the longest RR interval within that minute, and the bottom line indicates the shortest RR interval within it. ST Trend, Enhanced Plus and Pro levels only. The ST Trend screen presents the ST segment analysis data in 30-second increments throughout the Holter period for all channels of the ECG data. The placement of the ST calipers is automatic unless you reset them in the calibration window. See the section ST segment analysis in the previous chapter for more detailed information about ST segment analysis. The ST Trends includes 3 components for each channel. 1. The patient's baseline ST measurement, that is, the patient's normal ST. 2. The actual measurement made for each 30-day increment. And 3. The slope indicator for each 30-second indicator. The baseline measurement is trended as a blue line. The actual measurement is green, and the slope indicator is a vertical red line drawn from the actual measurement to the measured value at the slope caliper. The oximetry trend, Enhanced, Enhanced Plus, and Pro levels. For oximetry patients only, this additional trend screen contains oximetry data, including 1. A color-coded trend line colored the same as the beat labels of SpO2 data on a scale from 60 to 100% saturation, and 2. A white trend showing pulse oximetry data. For users with LX Sleep, this trend screen also shows the apnea trend and the AHI probability chart, which are explained in more detail in Appendix D, LX Sleep Apnea. The blue marker. The blue vertical marker is located at the time of day of a particular 30-second segment. Click on either trend to move the marker to a different time of day. The time of day that appears in the large data box indicates the time of day at the marker. The data boxes at the top of the display indicate the data collected for the minute where the marker is located, including heart rate, HR, the shortest RR interval, RR minute, the longest RR interval, max, the total number of VPBs and SVPBs, and the total number of VPBs and SVPBs that occurred during runs of VTAC and SVT. In addition, the ST data boxes include data collected from the 30-second interval where the marker is located, including the ST segment measurement for each channel in ST1, 2, and 3, and the ST slope measurement for each channel in slope 1, 2, and 3. The oximetry data appear with the measured heart rate in the SpO2 HR field, the minimum oxygen saturation measurement in the min field, and the maximum oxygen saturation measurement in the max field. Asterisks indicate that there is no data for that time period, usually because of artifact. Relabeling the artifact. If entire periods are contaminated by artifact, or if the electrodes were removed early, which generates lots of high-frequency noise without ECG at the end of the Holter data, you can relabel continuous periods of data artifact. On the general trend screen, you can only artifact ECG data, and on the oximetry trend screen, you can only artifact the oxygen saturation data. To artifact both, you must go to both screens. In the Trends window, to relabel a continuous period as artifact, click at the time of day you want to start rejecting, and then drag until the end time. the time period turns magenta. Now click the Artifact button. A message will appear asking whether you mean to relabel the period as Artifact. Click Yes to do so. All of the data within that time period is now called Artifact, colored light blue, and not included in any of the totals. To cancel the relabel, click No when the confirmation window appears. Desaturation buttons, Oximetry Trend only. On the Oximetry Trend screen, the desaturation on and off buttons appear. This allows you to manually identify desaturation events that were not identified automatically. To create a new desaturation event, drag across the trend window from the beginning of the event to the end. The trend is highlighted in magenta. Press Desat On to identify the period as a desaturation event. The event is automatically entered in the desaturation table in the Tables window. You can undo the change in the Trends window by dragging to select it again and then pressing Desat Off. Shorten analysis time. If the Holter period ends prematurely, you can either throw out the information as Artifact, as described in the section above, or you could shorten the analysis time. To shorten the analysis time, in the Trends window, click to move the marker to the time of day at which you would like to end analysis. Then select Review, Shorten Analysis Time. When the window opens to confirm the command, click Yes to reanalyze the data, stopping at the time indicated. To close without reanalyzing, click No. Turning AFib on/off, Pro and Enhanced Plus only. If a patient is in intermittent atrial fibrillation or flutter and you want to turn off SVPB counting for a period of time, click at the time of day at the start of the period and drag the marker to the end of the period. The time period turns magenta. Now click the AFib On button. No SVPBs will be counted during that time period and will instead be counted as AFib. You could create multiple periods like that if necessary. If you later change your mind and want to count SVPBs during any of the time periods, repeat the process, but click on the AFib Off button instead. Amount of time displayed. You can expand the trends by decreasing the amount of time displayed across a single page. To change the amount of time displayed, click on the arrow in the Hours field and select the number of hours you want displayed per page. When hours is set to less than 24 for a 24-hour recording, there are multiple pages of data. To move from one page of data to the next, use either the page up or page down keys on your keyboard or the scroll bar. Apnea. If you purchase the LX Sleep feature and are using the Oxy Holter recorder, an apnea probability trend will appear below the oximetry trend. See Appendix D for more information on LX Sleep apnea.